Welcome.
Welcome to
Cigar.
Cigar.
Public.
Public. And welcome to Cigar Public.
Hi, I'm Klaas Kelner with Kelner Cigars. We are a new factory in the heart of the Dominican Republic, making premium cigars and private labels for different clients.
Okay. Klaas Kelner, thank you very much for stopping by. I appreciate you taking the time. Let's talk a little bit about how you first got into cigar making and how some of the challenges that you faced. What were the most difficult challenges?
Well, I grew up in the industry, and I always knew that making cigars was what I wanted to do. And about a year ago, we decided to venture off into this project. And it was always coming. We knew it was going to happen at some point. We just didn't know when we were going to pull the trigger.
Right.
So we finally decided to pull the trigger. The time was right. And now we have this beautiful building where we have a nice growing number of employees making premium cigars, the style that my father taught me.
Sure.
The Kelner family style.
Legendary.
The Kelner school of blending and the meticulousness of actually handpicking each one of the tobaccos yourself, overlooking everything in a way that I have full control of the factory.
So your first blend that you produced for Kelner Cigars, what was the name of that blend and where was it made?
So as of right now, we have about half a year open with production actually being aged right now. We just recently launched a private label in the United States, and I won't say who that was with, because my business is to create private labels for different clients. They will decide how to market it, how to communicate. I'm just the manufacturing side, and that allows me to concentrate on the actual quality control aspect of it. We want to make sure that every cigar that's coming out of our factory is as perfect as possible. And then the client can decide how they're going to do the sales, how they're going to distribute it, how they're going to market it. And I don't have to worry about that, thank God.
So you can focus exclusively on the production aspect of cigars.
Exactly. So if you go into my factory right now, we have several clients that cigars are being rolled for, and several cigars in the aging room. Thousands of thousands already cigars in the aging room. And these cigars will not be released until they have at least a 3-month minimum aging period.
So what do you think, in your mind, separates you from other cigar makers in the industry right now? What really sets you apart, other than the fact that you come from just a storied cigar-making family?
There's not a lot of factories that are my size, and there's not a lot of factories in my size that focus so much on the quality and the tobacco aspect of it. There are a few. We have a different blending philosophy. We have a couple different things that we do a little bit different. And if you go to the factory, you'll see the layout, the cleanliness, how organized we are. And the blending speaks for itself. The tobacco speaks for itself. We do have a couple little things that we do differently. For example, nobody in my factory is allowed to make a cigar with a chupi, with a cap. So every single roller that comes into my factory has to finish the cigar direct, and that's a policy that I hold dear to my heart. Cigar making should be an art form.
Sure.
And when you go the easy route, you cut a little cap and you put it on top. It's faster, it's cheaper, you make more cigars per minute, but for me that's not art.
Right.
So we have a couple little things here that make us different, but you would have to say that really what attracts people to us as a potential client or potential manufacturer for them is our attention to detail in the blending and our attention to detail in the tobacco selecting process.
Right.
At my size, I literally go and handpick every single bale of tobacco that we purchase. If I have to go and spend 5 hours looking at 20 bales to buy 20 bales and I end up going to 40 and rejecting 20 of them, that's my job.
Right.
And my job is to make sure that every single tobacco that comes into our inventory, and we have more than enough inventory for my size, everything has to be as pristine as possible.
Absolutely. So looking at the cigar industry as it exists right now, what in your mind would you like to see changed, if anything, to make the cigar industry, the cigar culture more ideal to you?
I'm a purist. So I like tradition, I like culture, I like keeping things the way they were. Because something that's so beautiful about this industry is that, yes, we become modern in the way we communicate, the way we brand our things, and the way we package our things. But cigar making stays pretty much the same, with very few small changes that happen throughout the years. New technologies that come up and we implement them in the factory. But at heart, I'm a purist. What I would love to see is more on the people side. When you have a factory, when you're your own boss and you have many people that work for you, you have to take care for your employees.
Right.
So the human aspect, the working conditions in factories, for me are very, very important. And hopefully being able to provide better salaries, provide better living conditions for your workers, and even at my size, being able to give them all the tools that they need to grow economically and grow their family so that they can prosper and move on and support the next generations to come.
Absolutely. If you are approached by someone who is new to this lifestyle, new to the cigar hobby, what is one thing that you would want to direct their attention to so that they get the most out of a cigar lifestyle?
I would, if you're a consumer, I would definitely rely on the amount of communication that's out there. Media like this, what we're doing right now, is great because there's so much information accessible to consumers, and more so than ever, you can be well educated in the cigars that you are tasting. And in a consumer perspective, you don't get the chance so often to go to a factory, to go and taste different tobaccos on their own, go to a farm. You only get a finished product. So educate yourself, learn why you love this, because there is a why, and a lot of people smoke a cigar and I like it, but they don't understand why they like that cigar.
Yes.
So understand the why of how we do things, of why it turns out that way. And if you can, go to a factory setting, go to a festival, go to Pro Cigar, go to any opportunity you can to actually taste these tobaccos on their own so you can further educate yourself. And that's the only way we're going to have a strong base to keep growing as an industry. With education,
Education is key.
That's the best base that you can have at a growing industry.
Klaas Kelner, thank you very much for taking the time. Good luck with the rest of your PCA this year.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
my sir.